Basically, I was at a bar in Tribeca, restaurant bar, and I was at the bar and I was waiting on someone alone, had my coat like on the chair behind me, whatever. It was crowded, lots of people. And stupidly, I was walking home alone because I live in the neighborhood around like 11:30 p.m. And once I was already on my walk home, halfway home, I got the notification that was like, someone's tracking you and has been for a while. So I freaked out, obviously. Turns out it was an AirTag, which is a tiny little white circular thing that Apple makes. And it's used for horrible, horrible things. After I researched that people have been using it in people's cars to stalk them, human trafficking, all kinds of stuff. I had no idea that these existed until it happened to me. So I'm kind of just trying to raise awareness and tell all my ladies out there to watch your belongings, look out for the notification. The only silver lining is that I actually got notified that someone was tracking me.
That scary situation you saw there was being told by Sports Illustrated model Brooks Nader. That was back in January, and that's after she had this run-in with those AirTags that had been attached somewhere in her belongings, and she was being tracked. This is, of course, that AirTag, I'm sure everyone knows already, but Apple released those just last year to help people find things like keys, phone, whatever else they may have lost, wallet that's off somewhere else. But of course, immediately, human beings found a nefarious, disgusting, creepy way to use them, and that's to track random folks in public, stick it in their bags, having a connection to it, and follow them wherever they go, and eventually probably find out where they live. So, a little more information on what happened there. So in December, the West Seneca, New York Police Department said that it received 2 reports that AirTags were believed to have been placed on the vehicles of unsuspecting owners. Police in Iowa confirmed reports of similar incidents, and in January, a person in Pennsylvania reported a suspicious AirTag notification to police after possibly being followed home from a movie theater. So this is not just specific to famous models for SI. These are regular random folks that could be in an airport, from a gas station to a grocery store, anywhere, and they're being followed. So Brooks said that she reported the situation to the police, but she was told that she couldn't file a police report because no crime had been committed. That sounds a little bit similar to what you're gonna hear in this story from this woman on TikTok about what happened to her.
So last night I got this interesting notification. I was being informed that there has been an AirTag that has been following me since 5 o'clock. It didn't tell me till like 11:30, but here is it tracking me. That's my house. There's me probably going to the gym. I have no idea who could have done this. I went to Big O Tires. They looked under my car. We have not been able to find the AirTag. I then went to the police station to file paperwork because this is crazy. And they informed me that this is not illegal. They would not take a report because there's nothing to report. I'm to call them if someone shows up. That's when they can help me. So I'm making a public record of, hey, somebody is following me. I don't know who it is. So if something happens, this is that public record. If I find it, I'll let you know. So yeah, everyone stay safe.
Kind of sucks that women like this have to seemingly happily talk about how they're being stalked, and potentially the last message I'll send out if someone happens to find me, David. So before we get to what Apple is trying to do is respond to this, which is the update. First of all, just the fact that this is happening to this degree.
Yeah, and there's no way to put the toothpaste back in the bottle here. The technology is what it is. There's no way to stop it. I think the only thing that we could possibly do, and this would be the responsibility of the people who make the AirTags, is just as I think you have to register certain kind of equipment under your own name. Like if you buy a drone, there's a certain sort of serial ID number that you have to have with it in order to fly it. I think the same thing should be with these AirTags, and that is, if you buy an AirTag, you should have to have your name identified with it. And when that AirTag pops up in a warning system of somebody else's phone, it should identify who the owner of the AirTag is. And that way, if for those of us who are parents, when our kids are teenagers and we want to stalk them or track where they are, okay, our kids will know, yeah, mom and dad are following me again. But at least there should be an opportunity for everybody to know who is it that is following you. If it's not against the law to follow you, and I would argue that it is to stalk somebody, particularly with an electronic device, there should at least be some transparency on who owns that AirTag, so that okay, JR, David Schuster is following you all around the streets of LA. Why? I don't know, but at least you know who it is.
Yeah, and that's maybe part of something that Apple needs to look into, but they did have some things that they were looking to change. First, let's go to graphic 3, then we'll jump down to 6, you guys, because I want to see some of the things Apple has done. But first, the point of why this is such a bigger deal is because unwanted tracking isn't unique to AirTags. We've seen there's other things, there's trackers that could be used in a similar way, but AirTags' pinpoint accuracy and their high profile maker have put them in the spotlight. Obviously, Apple making something so big and then probably doing it better than other folks, they can really find someone much more accurately. That's part of the problem. So what are the changes that they're now pushing because this is beginning to blow up a bit? First, one of the things is precision finding. So this capability allows recipients of an unwanted tracking alert to locate an unknown AirTag with precision. So iPhone 11, 12, and 13 users will be able to use precision finding to see the distance and direction to an unknown AirTag when it is in range. Okay, so you'll know a little more specifically where the thing is that's stalking you. Also, refined unwanted tracking alert logic. So it says our unwanted tracking alert system uses sophisticated logic to determine how we alert users. We plan to update our unwanted tracking alert system to notify users earlier that an unknown AirTag or Find My Network accessory may be traveling with them. I can see how that could help because at least if you know before you get home what's happening. And lastly, they're looking to tune AirTag's sound. So currently iOS users receiving an unwanted tracking alert can play a sound or help them find the unknown AirTag. We will be adjusting the tone sequence to use more of the loudest tones to make an unknown AirTag more easily findable. And the other part of it that I jumped over was they're gonna let people, users, if you buy an AirTag and you're gonna be one of the creepy ones, to let them know, hey, this could be illegal. I think they may already know that.
Yeah, and that doesn't do enough for me, right? Because Jayar, if I send a threatening email to somebody, even though it looks like it's an anonymous, there is a way for people who know the technology to be able to figure out, okay, what is the server and everything that you use, and they can pinpoint sort of what part of Connecticut this email came from. There should be the same ability with AirTags. There should be responsibility to people who make these to either put some sort of identification as to who owns this, or some sort of clear way of helping people who find the AirTags track who was responsible for putting it there. If the companies who make this will not do that, then I think it's time for the government to jump in and force them to do so.
Maybe they will. We'll see what happens as far as, Apple has this big name to protect. So, maybe they'll implement more things, or maybe they'll hope this will be enough. It's probably gonna do is not as little. I don't wanna say that's what they're trying to do, but incremental changes is possible because who wants to have these kinds of headaches when they could potentially have to be dealing with this on a wide scale? And maybe they need to before someone gets hurt.
Yeah, and it could be a really good law enforcement technique, right? If you're trying to track, so somebody who's suspected of crimes or terrorism or whatnot, and you can get a warrant, then sure, have the police put it so they can figure out where these people are all the time. But that's very different from just the average citizen who just decides, wow, there's a beautiful Sports Illustrated model in the bar. I want to figure out who she is and where she lives. That is creepy, and that goes too far.
Yeah, and I think these things cost well under $100 that are probably pretty easy to get people to get their hands on.